having too many children, 10 children, 12 children, 15 children, 20 children. It's a whole lot that you can grapple with. So what is our take on? We're saying that according to the Duke of Africa, his popular tweet he said on X, he said that poor people should not have more than, he said they shouldn't have children at all. So, but we are saying no, like the common parlance that says, let the poor breathe. So what are we saying? We are saying that it's not that the poor should not have children, the poor should ensure they have control over their birth rates. I started an example when we had a talk show recently that I know of a certain couple not too far from here around Oshodi area of Lagos, and that certain couple family has 11 children, and the first child went and had a child out of wedlock. So which 11 children, one grandchild. And after a while, the man could not cope. Eventually, one of the children died due to malnutrition and the inability to cater for the needs of those children. And guess what? Over time, the second child died, leaving them to 9 surviving children and one grandchild. As if that was not enough, the first child went again and committed the same mistake. According to her, she said the first child of wedlock was a mistake. Now she had the second child, 2 grandchildren, 9 children, and the man of the home said, I am done. He said, I'm done with all of this. And guess what? He decided to leave the home. And he left the home for the wife to cater for them. And of course, the mother of the home couldn't do much except from a few selling of her bodies, prostitution, engagement, and what have you, which we saw that over time she had begun to introduce to her daughters. So what are we saying this morning? We're saying that poor couples should have control over their birth rates. The way Nigeria's economy is now, you shouldn't have more than 2 or 3 children. Because when you bring too many children into the world, they have the tendency to be emaciated. They have the tendency to have poor malnutrition. They have the tendency to be not properly brought up in terms of welfare. And unfortunately, when they grow up to become vices to the society, menace to the society, they end up as area boys, end up as pickpockets, end up terrorists, and unfortunately, some of them even end up as hired assassins. So what we are saying this morning, to collaborate the tweet by Duke of Africa on X, his account on X, we're saying that, friends, if you know of someone that is poor, encourage them to have a control over their birth. 2 or 3 children is enough. There's this common myth, this common parlance, and this common perception that people feel that, no, if I have 15 children, if I have 20 children, if I have 12 children, at least 1, 2, 3 of them will blow. Let's borrow their words. Will get rich in the future, and they will use them to compensate for all their past efforts and use them to say, okay, 1, 2, or 3 of you have come out of poverty line. Now go and empower your siblings. My question is, how true is that statistics? Do we have research proving that if you have 15 children, if you have 20 children, if you have 10 children, all of them will make it in life? The answer is a big no. There's no proven fact. There's no statistics to support that claim that says the more children you have, the more chances for them to make it in life. Guess what? You can have 10 children and all of them could end up useless. You could have 15 children and all of them could end up useless. You can have just a child, and that child will grow up to make you proud, make you happy as a parent, and bring joy to your home. So it's not really the number of children we have that determines how well our old age will look like. It doesn't matter the number of children we have that will determine if they will grow up and take care of us or take care of their siblings. No. What matters is how you train them. Your investment in a child will lead to a wonderful harvest in the future. If you invest in a child today, that child will become a wonderful harvest for you tomorrow. And of course, you know that education is very, very expensive, especially on this side of the climb. So in summary, what are we saying? We're saying that if you know you're not financially capable, don't even go into marriage. Don't even go and marry. Why marry when you know that you can't take care of your wife? You have 10 children staying in a room, 12 children staying in a room, no bed, some of them on the floor, they catch a cold, they eat once a day. I mean, it's a whole lot of backlog. And it's unfortunate that these things happen in, especially in Nigeria, in some parts of the country. So, my wonderful viewers out there, we are please appealing to us that let's stop this unnecessary, unhealthy competition of you have 20 children, I have 15 children, my neighbor will have 25 children. No, it is not the number of children that you have in life that determines if you'll be happy or successful in life. What determines success is the investment in each child. Think of how much it will cost you to train up a child in America from Nigeria. Now think of how much it will cost you to train 20 children in that same capacity in America. It's a whole lot to grapple with. So, in summary, what we're saying for the trending news this morning is make sure you're financially stable before even you go into a relationship. Make sure you're financially stable before you even have a child from a woman that you love. So that when these children come into this world, they will not look like a burden. I've seen people abandon their children, their babies, throw them into a water closet, WC, into toilets, into bushes, into soccerways, septic tank, into bushes just because they feel I can't take care of this baby. Let me lay this baby off. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. Prevention, they say, is always cheaper than cure. So we hope that we've been able to communicate a few moral lessons to all of our wonderful viewers. And of course, with that, we move straight ahead to the wonderful news headlines, making the news, especially from top newspapers here. And this morning, we're starting with the leadership news. The leadership news with this interesting headline: Yahaya Bello, EFCC withdraws appeal against Kogi court order. Take that again. Yahaya Bello, EFCC withdraws appeal against Kogi court order. Now the news in detail. According to the leadership newspaper, we have that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has filed a notice of withdrawal to discontinue an appeal against an order of a Kogi State High Court restraining it from arresting former Governor Yahaya Bello. And the notice filed on Monday, 22nd of April 2024, and signed by its counsel, J.S. Okutipa, SAN. The commission said the withdrawal was predicted on the fact that events had overtaken the appeal. The commission also admitted that the appeal was filed out of the time allowed by law. Details of that story can be seen in the leadership newspaper. Please grab yourself a copy. And away from there, we move over now to the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper has a shocking headline, like a breaking news. 118 inmates escape as rainstorm destroys Niger prison. Now the news in detail. A downpour on Wednesday night has wreaked havoc on the medium security custodial center in Suleja, Niger State, resulting in extensive damage to the facility and facilitating the escape of 118 inmates. This was disclosed in a statement signed by the spokesperson, Federal Capital Territory Command of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Adamu Duza, on Thursday. Duza noted that the downpour caused severe damage to the custodial center's infrastructure, including a breach in the perimeter fence, which allowed the inmates to flee. In response, the NCOS swiftly activated its recapturing protocols, collaborating with other security agencies to recover 10 of the escaped inmates. Efforts to recapture the remaining fleeing inmates are said to be ongoing. Recognizing the vulnerability of aging facilities, many of which were built during the colonial era, Duza acknowledged that the NCOS, the Nigerian Correctional Service, was committed to modernizing its infrastructure. The statement further noted that the Controller of Corrections, FCT Command Francis John, assured the public that the situation was under control and urged them to carry on with their daily activities without fear. And that's on the Punch newspaper. And away from the Punch newspaper, we move over to the Vanguard newspaper with an interesting headline: Stakeholders kick as Aviation Minister suspends Dana Air's operations. Take that again. Stakeholders kick as Aviation Minister suspends Dana Air's operations. Now the news in detail. Following runway excursion incident suffered by Dana Air at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport yesterday, Lagos, the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development has ordered the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) to suspend the airline until comprehensive audits on its fleet were conducted. A letter signed by the ministry's permanent secretary, Dr. Emmanuel Meriboli, to the NCAA yesterday said recent incidents involving Dana Air had raised concerns about the safety and financial viability of the airline's operations. Meriboli, who stated that the audit must include safety protocols, maintenance procedures, and financial health, said the decision to suspend the airline was aimed at ensuring the safety and well-being of Nigerians. The statement read, as the supervisor overseeing our nation's aviation safety and regulatory compliance, it has come to the Honorable Minister's attention that recent incidents involving Dana Airline have raised serious concerns regarding both the safety and financial viability of their operations. In light of these incidences, and with paramount priority being the safety and well-being of our citizens and travelers, the Honorable Minister has directed that you immediately initiate the suspension of Dana Airlines fleet until a comprehensive audit can be conducted. That's on the Vanguard newspaper. And away from there, we move over now to Sahara Reporters. Sahara Reporters, with an interesting headline: weakest loyalist, who is Rivers Attorney General Adanko, resigns from Governor Fubara's cabinet. Weakest loyalist, who is Rivers State Attorney General Adango, resigns from Governor Fubara's cabinet. Now that news in detail. The former Attorney General of Rivers State, Professor Zacchaeus Adango, SAN, who was deployed to the Ministry of Special Duties in the cabinet reshuffle by Fubara on Tuesday, has resigned from the Rivers State cabinet. And of course, we have one of the former governor, Nyesom weakest loyalists, who is a commissioner in Rivers State, Governor Siminalayi Fubara's cabinet, has resigned after he was moved to another ministry. You could see that the drama in Rivers State has continued unabated. And we hope that, of course, the governor and his counterpart, Wike, would shield their swords and focus on development of the good citizens, good residents of Rivers State. And as we begin to call it a wrap, we have the Vanguard newspaper with this interesting headline: we appreciate criticism not born out of mischief, according to Governor Eno. We appreciate criticism not born out of mischief, according to Governor Eno, as ex-President Jonathan lauds Eno for prioritizing needs of citizens. Now the news in detail. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umo Eno has said his administration will always welcome and appreciate constructive criticism that were not born out of malice and mischief. Eno made the remarks on Wednesday during the commissioning of a 1.3 kilometers underground concrete flood control tunnel, reconstructed section of Atiku Abubakar Way with walkway, drainage, solar street lights, and reconstruction of adjoining 1 kilometer Afaha Ube Itan Road. He reiterated that he would use Akwa Ibom wealth to put smiles on the faces of people and ameliorate their sufferings through the execution of life-touching projects and programs. He noted that the underground drainage was ongoing, and it was one of the interventions of his administration in response to outcry of citizens, and commended the contractor, Henzek Integrated Services, speedy execution of the project. His words: we are committed to touching lives. We are committed to improving the standard of living of our people. We are committed to providing both the soft and hard infrastructure. But the time we are in now demands soft infrastructure. The times demand that we feed our people. It demands that we help them go back to the farm. And those statements are attributed to Governor Eno Umo. Details of that can be seen in the Vanguard newspaper. Please get yourself a copy. And still on the Vanguard newspaper, we have yet another interesting headline: Okwama Iwu. Over 12 residents trapped in forest die of hunger and sickness. A very sad one, I must say. Okwama Iwu, over 12 residents trapped in forest due to hunger and sickness. Now the news in detail. Asaba, more than 12 residents of Okwama Iwu community in Ugeli, South Local Government Area of Delta State, trapped in the forest since last month in the aftermath of troops' invasion of the riverine settlement over the killing of 17 military officers and men, have died of starvation, ill health, and snake bites. What a sad one, I must say. This came on a day human rights activist Femi Falana, SAN, wrote the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, demanding the transfer of investigation of the incident in the community to the police. This is even as the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Opori Wuri, yesterday inaugurated an internally displaced persons IDPs management committee to resettle and rehabilitate the displaced villagers. A former editor of the Guardian newspaper and an honorable leader, Mr. Abraham Ogbodo, leads the IDP Management Committee as chairman. Director of Personnel Management, DPN, Ugeli South Local Government Area, Chief Austin Imaduku, will serve as secretary. Details of that can be seen in the Vanguard newspaper. Please grab yourself a copy. And for the Punch newspaper, there's an interesting headline here that would catch your fancy. It says, bullying, parents seek justice after another student speaks out. Parents seek justice after another student speaks out. Now the news in detail. Another student of the Lead British International School on Wednesday reported an incident of bullying. Although the identity of the student is yet to remain public, it was learned that the student had engaged the services of a lawyer. The media space was thrown into a frenzy on Tuesday when a video of a female student of the school who was being bullied by her co-students surfaced. An ex-user at Moyi on Monday night posted two videos of a female student of the school being reportedly slapped by another female student and called for justice for the victim. There was outrage over the videos as ex-users condemned the incident, calling for the school authorities to investigate and punish the culprit. Parents and human rights coordinators also visited the school on Tuesday after the bullied student and one of her bullies in the viral video were identified. The development led to the temporary closure of the school for 3 days while the management promised to investigate the matter. Though one of the identified bullies apologized for misconduct, the bully, through our lawyers, Deji Adeyanju, and partners, demanded heavy sanctions. Speaking with Adeyanju on the progress made so far, the Punch laying that the parents of another student of the school has also reached out for legal services. I've also been briefed by another parent that their son was bullied, and we're here to deliver the second letter to them today. We'll send you a copy as soon as that is delivered to the school. And of course, we have finally today on Premium Times Nigeria with an interesting, shocking headline. Akpabio wants Attorney General stripped of role in judgment enforcement against federal government. Now the news in detail. Senate President Akpabio spoke at the Justice Sector Reform Summit declared open by President Bola Tinubu, who Vice President Kashim Shettima represented. Now the news in detail. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio on Wednesday advocated far-reaching reforms in Nigeria's justice system. One of the areas which Mr. Akpabio wants amended is the statutory burden placed on a judgment creditor to obtain the consent of the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF. Interesting. Okay, we'll stop here for G9ijaTV news headlines this morning. If you want details of that, please grab yourself the Premium Times newspaper for the interesting and concluding part of that story. We want to appreciate you for joining us this morning with G9ijaTV news headline. And my popular host, Dr. Champion. And like we've said, please ensure that today, which I call Love Thursday, is a day to show love, to express love to others. Don't leave today without expressing love to someone. Remember, true love is expressed in giving. When you have love for someone, ensure that you give to the person. And necessarily may not be money. You can show people care, show people kindness, show people prayers, show people gratitude. Just make sure someone smiles today because of you. Till we come your way, same time tomorrow. Keep watching G9ijaTV News Headlines with Dr. Champion. Stay blessed. Am I good?